We presented by Mr. Darren Berry, Director of Student Services, and Mr. Abdul Lindsay, our Director of School Nutrition. We want to reiterate the purpose of these Parent Connect sessions is to make sure that you have a clear expectation of what's going to happen as we start off our school year. And as we said before, please be patient with us as we kind of go through this because this is our first pandemic. Hopefully it's yours. And as we go through this, we're going to make sure that we are able to meet the needs of all of our parents and students. And that's why we're having this Parent Connect learning experience. All of our sessions that we're going to have this week will be 45 minutes, and each one of these sessions will be recorded and placed on the Newton County website for access later. There will be a question and answer time presented at the very end of the session. The link that you see on your screen is one that you can type in your questions and we will address those. This information will be throughout the presentation, so you don't have to, if you don't get it right now, don't worry, you'll see it throughout the presentation, but we're going to leave this up here for a few moments so you can go ahead and write that down or put that into your web browser and you can type in any questions throughout this session. We want to go over a few dates and things that everyone kind of needs to be aware of our virtual learning experience. We've been doing our Chromebook and hotspot pickup at our schools we started on Monday and Tuesday. And today we'll be passing out materials at our middle schools and also at our elementary schools. Tomorrow will be the last day we will have our middle school pickup. Now, in addition to picking up devices, you'll also be able to pick up any resources that the schools are passing out to get your academic year started for your student. Today, as I mentioned, is our session on student services and food and nutrition. Thursday, we'll have special education, and Friday will be ASAP, our after-school program, and family and student supports. Also, this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m., we will have our Parent University. We'll go through how you, as a parent or guardian, can support your student getting started with our virtual learning experience. We'll cover topics such as Canvas, Infinite Campus, My Launchpad, Zoom, and internet safety to make sure that you're able to keep your students safe as we move forward with this virtual learning in this digital space. We're asking that each student complete their Getting Started to Virtual Learning checklist no later than August 31st. These will be distributed at your schools when you go by to pick up your resources. If you're not stopping by your school, no worries. This checklist is located on the district website under our virtual learning experience. We will have our open house virtually at our elementaries Monday, August 31st, middle school Wednesday, September 2nd, and high school will be Thursday, September 3rd. We're looking forward to starting virtually Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. At this time, we will turn the mic over to Mr. Darren Berry, our Director of Student Services, and he will go over everything you need to know in that area.
Good morning. As Adam said, I am Darren Berry, Director of Student Services. I should have said Dr. File. We do appreciate you joining us this morning. I have a few things to share with you about student services and in a pandemic or during virtual school. One of the duties of the Student Services Department is enrollment. During the summer, we went through several processes to make registration easier in a virtual environment. In June, a process was developed to allow parents and guardians to begin registration process by completing the application online and submitting those documents via email. Later on, we set up dates for in-person registration. That was in July, and parents were allowed to come in after they made an appointment to complete what they had already done, maybe in pre-registration, or to begin and complete the enrollment at the school site. In late July, we launched the Infinite Campus online registration tool, which allows parents to complete enrollment process entirely online. Now, this is connected directly to the student database where you get all reports from all the records of your student are kept in that database. So this is a more seamless way to do our registration. Last week, we launched a tool that allows parents to log in through Parent Portal and make contact information changes remotely. In some cases, those changes will update in the student database within 24 hours. Some examples of that would be phone numbers and email addresses. Some changes may require approval from the school or the district office and may require supporting documentation, and examples of that may be a change of address, which sometimes might change your school location, and sometimes a change of guardianship. Things like that can be done through the parent portal. However, they would have to be approved later on. If you do not have a parent portal account, please go to the Newton County Schools website. There are several ways to find it, but if you look in the parent section, you'll be able to find parent portal. I believe it's actually in the menu on the main page as well. These tools will be available even when we return to a more traditional school model. We'll probably get away from the initial pre-registration that we did, in which we had created an online registration by submitting documents through the email, and we'll go to the Infinite Campus online registration exclusively. And that will be coming later. Attendance in a virtual school. That sounds weird. We will be taking attendance in virtual school, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why we'll do that and how that'll be done. Attendance obviously is extremely important in regular school. We want you there to receive we want students there to receive their instruction, so that they'll have it. And the same thing is true, in the virtual setting. All students are expected to attend, and teachers will record absences in the virtual setting in much the same way they do the traditional setting. The school-driven virtual model, which is one of our virtual models for learning, is designed to replicate the traditional setting as much as possible, and the teachers will check attendance for each class if they're in the school-driven virtual model. The self-paced virtual model is a little bit different, and it is self-explanatory. It's self-paced. The student and parents will be able to move at a pace that is comfortable for them, with some guidance and direction and goal setting from the facilitators, which will be our teachers and staff. But attendance still will be tracked there, and the way we would track attendance there in the self-paced model is by checking when the student has logged in and the time that they've spent on the virtual platform. Compulsory attendance, which in Georgia is ages 6 to 16, and that has not been waived by the state. That's another reason we take attendance, is because anybody between 6 and 16 is supposed to be in school. Excessive unexcused absences may lead to a social worker or a truancy referral. So make sure if your child is absent that you send in an excuse, and the requirements for excuses are listed in the student handbook. Discipline in a virtual school. And you see I put a question mark on that one just like I did on the other one, because it sounds strange. They're sitting at home, so how could we do any discipline? But the students will be required to adhere to the Newton County School System's Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct can be found in the student handbook, and the student handbook is posted on the Newton County System webpage. And each student will receive a hard copy. I think that some of the schools have given them out with the pickup dates. If not, then you'll be able to have an opportunity to pick that up later. But if you want to review the handbook, you'll be able to find it on the Newton County Schools website. Some rules in the Code of Conduct specifically refer to digital or virtual means in their description. Things that I can think of off the top of my head are bullying, threatening other students, computer trespass, sometimes pornography or obscenity, and I think another school system had an issue with that recently. So that is something that would cause discipline action to occur if it's related to their lesson and done while they're working on school. Please make sure you review the Code of Conduct with your child, and if you're a student watching this, make sure that you review the Code of Conduct in the handbook, and that you are familiar with the contents and the dispositions for any misbehaviors. Student Services also oversee school nurses and student health. As you can imagine, that part of this department has been pretty busy over the last few months. Each school is assigned a full-time nurse. The school nurse's primary job duties include dispensing medication and triaging students who become ill or injured at the school, meaning if they are injured or they're running a fever, the school nurse will do initial examinations to determine if the students would need any further medical assistance, and they will also be screening for possible, if a student comes up to the clinic and has some of the symptoms that are consistent with COVID-19, then they will be isolated from other students and other staff members until they can be picked up. One thing that we really ask is that if your child is sick, do not send them to school. That is one of the main things to help us try to control the COVID exposure. And our goal, as you know, in the future is to begin phasing in school, in-person school as soon as possible. And you can find that phase-in plan on the Newton County Schools website. One of the things that the nurses will also be doing is assisting in screening visitors before entering the building. Visitation to the schools is going to be very limited during this time, and people are only going to be able to come in if it's essential, if you've set up some sort of meeting, or if you have to drop something off for your child. And all of this obviously is when we begin in person. So if you're not allowed to visit, please understand that it's the reason that we're doing that is we're just not allowing a lot of people come in. So we won't be doing a lot of parents eating with their children. Children will initially be eating in their classrooms and in other areas, but we won't let parents come in and do that. We won't let parents come in and walk children to their classrooms, because it's just the more people we have in there, the more exposure is possible. I've already said something like this. The nurses will also be a source of advice and assistance in tracing possible COVID-19 exposure in the schools. We have a COVID-19 task force, which I think has been mentioned several times in some of the presentations that you've seen lately, and in a couple of the board meetings. This team consists of our head nurse, me, and our safety coordinator, or actually, I forgot her title, but we actually, every time someone sends in any kind of information to us, we have an email address so that you could email the students. The staff email us if they have somebody who has tested positive or has had close contact with those tested positive, and we assess that and refer to the Department of Health's guidelines and indicate what the employee has to do. We'll also be doing that when school starts back. If a student exhibits those signs, or if it's reported to us that a student has tested positive, then that team will communicate with the administration at the school and the student and family to let them know how long they will need to be out of school. Athletics and extracurricular activities. This is something that's been quite a hot topic lately. Newton County High School and Middle School began voluntary summer conditioning in June. We monitored the Georgia High School Association announcements and adopted that organization's guidelines for return to school. And if you don't know what the Georgia High School Association is, they are basically the governing body for high school sports. They, in June, put out guidance for a safer way to come back for voluntary summer conditioning. And that guidance changed and expanded a little bit as we went forward. When we got into a situation where we were beginning to practice a little more, we did have the third bullet, COVID-19 tracing affected all three high schools to varying degrees during the period from June to August. So we had to isolate and pause some individual high schools' activities based upon close contact or COVID-19 positive test. On August 17th, we made the very difficult decision to suspend all extracurricular activities. That decision was based upon the numbers in our community, the growth rate of COVID-19, and the community spread analysis that's done by multiple agencies. CDC and DPH are two among them. That was also around the same time that the decision to go 100% virtual was made, or that was a little bit after it. So we assigned that, and we began to discuss why we do athletics and 100% virtual. The numbers began to look a little better. I think Ms. Fury has talked about that quite a bit, and talked about that in the phase-in plan that was sent out. So on August 25th, the Newton County School System announced that high school extracurricular activities would resume. So the extracurricular activities at high school level were only suspended for about 7 days, and they started back yesterday. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and send those to me, and we'll answer a few of them until I run out of time. One question that relates to the last slide that I just went over is athletics. We have middle school athletics at our middle schools, and they have been affected by the suspension as well. We have the actual middle school main practicing had not started yet. They were still doing voluntary activities. So we didn't have a lot of questions to come in about that, or any issues to come in about that for COVID-19. Thank you. But we did go ahead and suspend middle school activities. One of the reasons that we didn't open middle school activities back up refers back to the Georgia High School Association that I mentioned earlier. They govern high school but not middle school. Locally, we govern middle school, and we can make a change in schedules without having any issues doing so. For high school, it was very important, if we saw that we were going to try to put kids back in school within the next couple months, that we go ahead and reinstate extracurricular activities, because if we didn't, we would lose the games. Georgia High School would not allow us to reschedule them. In the middle school situation, we can and are at this moment still analyzing the numbers to determine if we're ready to bring middle school sports back. One of the luxuries we have is we can delay the middle school seasons. Rockdale County has pushed their middle school to the spring, and we usually play with them in a league. It's Rockdale and Middle in the New Rock League. And since they moved, we were moved to spring, we were discussing maybe playing just our 5 middle schools. So there are several options on the table. We have not completely put out the idea of doing middle school sports, but it still is being considered. Okay. Mr. Abdul Lindsay is coming up now to talk about school nutrition.
Good morning. My name is Abdul Lindsay. As Dr. Fayal said earlier, I'm the School Nutrition Director for Newton County Schools. I would be remiss not to thank our administration, Superintendent Samantha Fury and her executive support team for allowing us this opportunity to engage with you virtually. We know that it's been a lot going on with the pandemic, and so we wanted to be prepared and let you know how we're prepared to serve your needs in the upcoming school year. And with everybody thinking about the upcoming school year, we wanted to say welcome back already. We hope that the planning phase of getting ready for the upcoming school year and us providing this information with you will help you in that planning for this school year. Quality meals with a smile is something that we've been doing since schools closed on March 16th, 2020. And we want to let you know that we're still doing it, even though we're getting ready for the startup of September 8th virtual school. We are providing meals currently right now in an expanded bus route. And sorry about that. In an expanded bus route, even today, meals are being delivered as I speak, or about to be delivered as at 10:30 this morning. So please, hopefully you're engaging with that process through the MyStop app on when the meals should be in your neighborhoods or apartment complexes or subdivisions or anywhere in the community where we deliver meals or pick up kids on a normal basis. So we just wanted to make sure we get that word out that we have never stopped serving as essential workers, and we look forward to continue to serve you when virtual school starts on September 8th. This slide here, I wanted to just talk about the mission of school nutrition from a state level as well as here locally. Our goal is to fuel Georgia's future. Obviously, it takes a team effort to do that. We have the state and their guidance under our state nutrition director, Dr. Lynette Dawson. They revised our approach to providing fuel for Georgia's future, which is the children. Obviously, quality meals has always been a cornerstone for the school nutrition program. But facilitating professional development is something that I know a lot of our stakeholders might not be aware that we work very extremely hard in doing that, making sure that our staff is educated regarding the best practices in our industry. The next thing is engaging with the community and students, obviously, our customers, our primary customers, teachers, anyone in the school community, all stakeholders in the community. We want to engage with them. We want to be at the table, literally serving you your meals and listening to your input on the types of meals that you would like to receive from us. I would like to go over a few particulars regarding our mission, our philosophy, and our motto. Our mission, obviously, is to serve quality meals, but one thing that's left out a lot of times is do it with a smile, with good customer service. That's one of our products as well, is to provide a friendly face that your children can connect with, that they can be encouraged to participate in our program. Also, we provide nutrition education and nutrition promotion, as well as collaborating with our physical education professionals to promote physical fitness and importance of the comprehensive development of your children. And that leads to our philosophy is that we want to integrate with academia here locally and nationally with best practices to comprehensively provide service to your kids, whether it's promoting nutrition, health, well-being, and providing wholesome and nutritious meals. And lastly, our motto. Our motto is that good nutrition is a catalyst for excellent teaching and learning. You cannot teach at a high level and you cannot learn at a high level if you don't have good nutrition. I have a video here, though it's dated. It's a good summary video of our program, mission, and goals. It's back from 2010. Our School Nutrition Association put this together, but it's still applicable today, and I want to show it to you. I had a mentor once tell me that a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 10,000. So with that said, we want to show you this video. Okay, after watching that video, I'm hungry. Hopefully you are. Meals are coming around soon, as I said earlier. You might ask, what's for breakfast or lunch during the virtual mode of our school startup? Well, much the same. The same things that we serve in brick and mortar or in the cafeterias in the schools. We also serve virtually, where we serve to the virtual learners through the expanded bus routes or pickups. It might be delivered in a different way, in a bag or in a souffle cup, but we serve the same things. As you see these pictures here, these are pictures of some of the food items that we've been serving since school closed. We have a variety of hot meals, cold meals, and sometimes shelf-stable items that make up these meals. So hopefully you can rest assured that we are serving the same high-quality, wholesome meals that we serve in the cafeterias. I want to read a statement to you regarding our meals. It's that our meals provide 1/3 of the USDA recommendations for nutrients, as well as we follow the USDA guidelines for serving our meals. But a lot of people say, yeah, your meals are nutritious, but do they taste good? And we strive to make sure they taste good. You saw the team of people that I had on the last slide that works with me to make sure that we provide quality services to you. And one of the new acquisitions on our team is our culinary coordinator, Ms. Tanisha Baker, who has worked extremely hard in tandem with our menu coordinator, Ms. Donavella Brown, to make sure that we revamp some of our recipes and we provide scrumptious and tasty meals for you as well. So hopefully you're enjoying that and you see that more. If you want to know what we are serving for the day or what we're serving for the month, you can access that online at our website at NewtonSchoolNutrition.org. I'm sorry. It's there on the slide, and you can look at the types of meals that we have prepared for you for that day or for that week or for the month. One of the things that we're bringing to Newton County that I think is exciting with this pandemic has forced us to look at this very quickly and to start working in this regards. We will have it active and live next Friday, September 4th, is online ordering for your meals, whereby you'll be able to go on our website at mymealspayment.com, and be able to access ordering your meals online with us. And we ask you a series of questions when you're ordering those meals so we can get some data that's applicable for us, making the operations more effective. But you will be able to order your meals if you're coming to pick up meals on the day that we're going to provide pickup. So that's something that we're very excited about. Another thing is with the school nutrition meals, it's very important that you understand if your child has a special needs, that we are providing support for those special needs with different meals. If your child is on an IEP, individual education plan, we are providing that as well during this time for virtual learners. Our contact for that is Donavella Brown, and her phone number is on this next slide here, where you can contact her, and she will coordinate with whatever school or bus route that you're picking up your meals to have the special needs meals provided for your child or children. Another contact we have that we wanted to make sure we promote is like our triage administrative assistant. Her name is Cindy Leva. If you have any questions, usually during these times where there's unique operations in effect, you might have a question that comes up. Cindy Leva is the person that you want to contact. The number is provided there, and she will be able to triage you to the right person to answer your question. And then lastly, because we're working in tandem with our transportation, and for that matter, our chief of operations, Dr. Michael Barr, has the whole team working together collaboratively to provide these meals on expanded bus routes. But if you have a question regarding the MyStop app or how to access when the meals are coming to your neighborhood, you want to call transportation, and their number is provided there, and they can provide some technical support and assistance to you, or coordinate with our technology coordinator, Ms. Deanna Joyner, in operations to be able to provide some help in that regards. We have some tips here to help us to have an effective operation as we are bringing meals into your neighborhood. Sorry about that, I touched the screen. One of them is we need you to spread the word. Word of mouth is one of the ways that we can have a lot of participation from your neighbors, your friends, other family members. We need you to help us in spreading the word. We need you to participate in our program. We are an enterprise in the school environment, and we need participation to be able to stay financially solvent and to survive. So please, please spread the word about our meals, our quality meals that we serve, our scrumptious meals that I eat myself. Facilitating children's safety is very important when you're sending your kids out to pick up meals, or if you're having a guardian or a friend come pick up meals for children, that they wash their hands, that they wear masks, and that they socially distance themselves at the bus stops, as well as when they come pick up. These things are applicable as well. And then lastly, it's very important to expedite meal service at the bus stops, because we're on a strict time schedule to deliver those meals and to move to the next bus stop, is that you need to be ready at the bus stop. The same as you would during traditional school, whereby kids are ready to get on the bus and to be able to be transported to school. We need them to be ready to pick up the meals in an expeditious manner, and for we to be able to have an effective operation. In the spirit of thinking outside the box, we have been having pickup for meals at certain schools since schools closed back in March 16th. However, we wanted to be able to be more of a service to you all, to accommodate parents who are working during the day and might not have a guardian or a friend to come pick up meals for their children. So we are starting the week of September 9th, weekly meal pickups in the evening, well, late afternoon to evening hours from 4 to 6 p.m. The school that we decided to do that with is Live Oak. And for various reasons. One of them is it's a large elementary school, as well as it has the capacity with the roundabout for the buses and the kitchen capacity. And so we're hopeful that we will have a lot of cars coming to pick up meals every Wednesday on a weekly basis from 4 to 6 at Live Oak, starting September 9th. We hope that you'll spread the word about that, and it'll become so needed that we can spread it to other schools to have a weekly evening meal pickup, just like we're starting at Live Oak on September 9th. This slide here is just to reassure our customers that we know there's a heightened alert and awareness regarding safety with the pandemic. And with our program, it's always been of utmost importance for us and priority to ensure the safety of our customers. So business as usual for us is that we practice a lot of safety protocols within our kitchens when we're in the brick and mortar, and we are still practicing those safety protocols with the different modes of delivery of meals that we're doing. One of them is properly washing our hands and doing it often. We strongly encourage, and we monitor our staff to make sure that they're washing their hands repeatedly throughout the day for at least 20 seconds. Saying happy birthday twice is typically what we tell them, and that's usually the duration of 20 seconds. To wear gloves and hairnets to ensure that we're providing a physical barrier between their hands, touching the food and preparing the food, and a hairnet to help prevent hair follicles from falling into the food. So that's something that we're continually to do. And we also encourage them to frequently change their gloves and hairnets. That gloves in itself are not the only protection. Washing your hands is first and foremost, but also changing your gloves frequently throughout the day. Ensuring proper temperatures of foods with cooking the foods to the proper temperature is the first safety measure, but also making sure we store the foods at safe levels, safe temperature levels, and we deliver them at safe temperature levels. Cleaning and sanitizing. I emphasize both. One in itself is not better than the other, especially when you say sanitizing versus cleaning. Cleaning is very important to remove debris from your hands and other dirt and microorganisms and sanitizing complements that process as well. So we practice both. Check-in, discarding expired food products. And I would like to say something about that. I know we've had in the past some complaints, and we're not alone in this in the food industry, of certain food that may have been served with an expired date on the food label. Now, that date is not a safety date. It's a date for best used by date. However, we do strive to go beyond a safety date, and we do encourage our staff, if they see a best used by date expired, to not serve that. But if you should see that, please let us know, and we will quickly render a solution and intervene on that. And then some enhanced COVID-19 safety procedures or practices that we are encouraging is to continue proper hand washing. That's been shown and proven as an effective safety measure in preventing the transmission of the coronavirus. Wearing masks and occasionally face shields. Wearing masks, multi-layer cloth masks is what's being recommended. Face shields would be in addition to wearing masks. Mask is the mandate and the way to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. But we also will have, in some cases, we will wear face shields. And you saw that in one of the slides that I had earlier, where one of our staff had on face shield. Socially distancing ourselves from customers and from each other in the kitchens is something that we're also monitoring and encouraging among our staff and team. And employee screening and self-reporting, that's something that we did even as a business as usual, because there's other symptoms of different conditions that we have to observe and monitor among our staff and seek or encourage them to seek medical attention with some of those symptoms. So we're still doing that, but we're on an enhanced observation and monitoring of those things as it relates to COVID. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about and encourage you all this year, we have traditionally had this available to you as online processing of free and reduced applications, but it's something that has not been used at a high percentage level here in Newton County, and we want to greatly encourage that this year. But before we even get to where you can access our free and reduced application online, you might be contemplating whether or not you should even apply or submit an application for free and reduced meal benefits. Definitely if your child was free and reduced last year for its meals and benefits, that we would definitely encourage you to continue to apply this year. But this D tree that we provide here, this flow chart, may help you in making your decision on whether or not you should be able to apply for free and reduced meals. So to start, if your student currently is on free and reduced price meal program at the school, then we would encourage you to go ahead and apply, like I said earlier. But if your child is not, then you might want to consider these two questions. Did you have trouble paying for your child's school lunch meals last year? Or has your income or number of people living in your house changed this year? If one of those things you answer yes to, then you might want to go back up here to start in July 2020. Please reapply for school meals or apply for the first time. Sorry about that. If your answer to one of those questions is no, then you do not need to apply this year. You're finished with this decision making. But if your answer to one of these questions is yes, then we would encourage you to apply. And then we have provided a website or a link here to Georgia SNAP because during the pandemic, there is some lower criteria as it relates to qualifying for a Georgia SNAP. And you might want to go to that website and look into that as additional support for you applying for free and reduced meals during these times. All right, there we go. Another thing that we are encouraging and emphasizing this year is for all of our customers to prepay for their meals online. It's very important for a number of reasons. We have here, one of the things that we are discouraging is the exchange of physical currency at the point of sale, the bus route site, or the pickup site. The only form of currency that we're accepting this year for the start of school year 2020-2021 is money orders and also checks. So we would encourage you to prepay online or to provide a check or money order if your child pays for meals. And this is to promote safety, obviously. So we hope that you would engage in that service. It's a third-party vendor that provides this service to the district, and it's a small fee associated with it. So one of the things that we would encourage you to do is to make sure that you pay as many meals in advance as possible, so you only pay that fee once. Every time you utilize the service, you have to pay the fee. It helps us to expedite meal service when you prepay for meals as well. It prevents theft or loss of your currency. A lot of times we have kids that come to school and they say, I lost my check, or, I lost my money that my mom or my dad gave me to pay for my meals. It allows parents to track transactions, so you can see the transactions of your children online as they're paying for their meals and whether or not they're engaging with us or participating in the program and purchasing the meal on a daily basis. Sometimes in the past we've had, when we've been in brick and mortar cafeterias, is kids using their money to buy a la carte items, but not necessarily to buy meals. And then pre-ordering meals is something that we're encouraging. I talked about that earlier. We will have that available. It'll be live next week on September 4th, Friday, whereby you can go on and pre-order your meals. And this helps us to prevent food waste as we are preparing meals in accordance to a number that we have on the pre-order registry. And then lastly, we hope that this won't be the only time that we can engage with you. My wellness coordinator, her name is Caitlin Brand. She does a very good job in tweeting out about our services and helping me to update and maintain the website. So please look for those tweets at our tweet account, which is newtonschoolnutrition.org, or I'm sorry, Newton NCSS. I'm new to tweets, but our website is newtonschoolnutrition.org. So please stay engaged with us as we try to stay engaged with you and your needs. This is something that we have to just let you know that we are an institution of equal opportunity provider. This is the USDA non-discrimination statement, and you can read it at your leisure, but we just wanted to make sure you know that. And then these are some frequently asked questions that we anticipated that might be out there and that we wanted to go ahead and answer for you. The first is, if my child qualified for free and reduced price meals last year, do I have to resubmit a free and reduced application this school year? The answer to that is yes. Though your child or children may receive meals based on their free or reduced meal status from the previous year for the first 30 days of school, a new household application must be submitted every year. So the second question that we anticipate you might have is, are we allowed to pay for meals at bus stops and or pickup locations? The answer to that is yes. We are accepting checks and money orders only at this time. Please consider prepaying for your child or children meals at mypaymentsplus.com. The next question that we anticipated that you might ask is, are you serving hot and cold meals? And as I answered in the presentation, yes, we are. However, only cold meals are planned for the weekly pickups on Wednesday at the location that we specified, which was Live Oak Elementary. Is there a scheduled lunchtime for virtual learners at all grade levels? Not at this time. That's something that we're considering. The district leadership team is considering that for virtual learners, and we will get back with you at a later time. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you very much. I would like to close with this one thing, just saying that this is an old maximum that says that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We care about you. We care about your families, including your children, and we care about your well-being. Thank you very much.
All right, and just a reminder, everyone, if you have any questions, additional questions, please utilize the link on your screen, and we are checking these, and these will be released in the frequently asked questions document. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll have another session. With this exact session will be hosted this afternoon at 6 p.m. Once again, this session will be at 6 p.m. today. Thank you for attending, ladies and gentlemen.